Among mid-size luxury sedans, few are more popular than the BMW 5 Series. We're going to lay out some pros, some cons, and give you some insight from our consumer reviews. Well, this has always been the car to get if you want to have the most sporting mid-size luxury sedan out there. It's still fun to drive, it's just locked in when you're going around a corner, and we're hearing exactly that from consumers. One of our readers says, "I look for any excuse at all to go out and drive this thing." The fit and finish is always good in BMWs, and the materials have just gotten progressively nicer with each generation. There's a lot of technology in this cabin, which is pretty much inevitable once you get to this price level. But the main thing to know about the 5 Series is that everything is oriented around the Idrive interface. When BMW first launched Idrive, it was really difficult to use, but the company has simplified it a lot over the years, and that's what consumers are telling us, that it's easy to get in, pair their phones, use the Bluetooth, use its features. Fuel economy is generally pretty good with any of the 5 Series models, but if you're really concerned about it always being solidly in the 20s, then you want to stay away from the V8-powered 550i model. Instead, you're going to want to look at the 528i or the 535i, and honestly, you're not going to go wrong with either of these models. Acceleration is perfectly adequate on the base 528i, which has 240 horsepower. If you want a more quintessential 5 Series experience, we would recommend the more powerful 535i, which has 300 horsepower. One reader says, "This thing is really fast. I don't see why anyone would get the V8. Crash safety is another pro on this car. It earned an overall 5-star rating from the federal government. One of the cons on this car that we've noticed ourselves and that we've heard from consumers is that the trunk is smaller than some of the other cars in the class. And so if you're going golfing every weekend, you may find that you can't fit your golf clubs as easily. Another thing you may notice, especially if you've owned a BMW before, is that this 5 Series is bigger than previous generations. And so it feels bulkier when you're maneuvering in tight spaces, which isn't a big deal, but it can be inconvenient in crowded parking lots. Well, in terms of pricing, the 5 Series is average for this class. The 528i starts at $45,000, and with a typical load of options, it'll take you up to $55,000. The bottom line is that the 5 Series is still one of the best cars in the mid-size luxury sedan class, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't also look at competitors like the Mercedes E-Class, the Audi A6, the Jaguar XF, and the Infiniti M. If you want to see more information on features, pricing, specs, or just look at photos of the 5 Series and its competitors, you should go to Edmunds.com.